So here's that little practice segment I promised I'd give you guys. I'm also going to be posting some gameplay later. It's not the smoothest gameplay, but it does work. You'll notice me in those vids. I'll be talking to other people, but you won't necessarily hear them because that's the way I recorded it. That way I don't have to do any editing or anything on what other people are saying anything. So anyway, here's a practice. So then from here I can change my ships. I neglected to show you guys all the ships you can use, so I'm going to do that now. Here's the here's the galleon. Biggest ship currently, heaviest armed, but it's not very quick. It doesn't turn very well. The balloons are kind of exposed. It's got actually three floors, so it's got you got a lot to maneuver around there. And the firing arcs aren't so great on the lower weapons either. Here's the squid that I showed you. 3 weapons, one front, one to the right side, and one to the back. The back's actually pretty helpful. But you typically only be using the one in the front. It's the fastest ship, the most maneuverable, and the weakest, so speed is your friend. These things can be really annoying when they get behind you and they just stay there. Very annoying. I've had a lot of success with that, and I've also been killed a lot of times because of that. Junker, obviously large balloon. Hull's a lot thinner though, so it's not quite as easy to hit that as you'd think. 5 weapon mounts, 1 on the front and 2 on each side, which is actually really convenient because you can, if people are passing you, you can hit them both sides fairly efficiently. You'll see in one of my videos we do that pretty good. I haven't done too much with this yet. I haven't had too many bad moments with it though. So Goldfish, in some ways this is a starter ship. I don't really have a good place for it. It's the second fastest ship from what I understand. It's pretty maneuverable for its size. Balloon's kind of a big target. It's got 1 heavy weapon in the front and 1 light on each side. It's got 3 engines. Problem is the third one is way back here, so you have to walk all there to get it, and sometimes you fall off and it's annoying. If you know how to use it correctly, yo, fine, great, you can pull off some stuff with it. It can be really annoying that way, but if not, you will get destroyed in it. So, but it's probably true for all the ship. Mobula. All these weapons on the front, all these light weapons on the front, but as you can see, it's a very large balloon, and yeah, it's a great, basically it's everyone's favorite target, especially in the back. And another annoying thing about it is there's like the balloon is on one side down here, and then a hull is on another side down here, so you have to run up and across both ways to be able to work back and forth. So it's a real pain to work with. Still, if you put the right weapons in the front and you always make sure that your enemy is in front of you, it can be a pain to go up against, but more often than not, it's just a really big target. Spire, it's a weaker ship, but it's got 360-degree coverage with its weapons, a heavy mount here, and then 3 lights all over. It's several levels tall, though, and there's a ladder in the middle that you can go up and down. I haven't used this much at all. Actually, I don't know if I've ever used it. A lot of people like it. They call it the glass cannon is what they call it. That's basically what it is. You try and hit people from wherever, whatever angle. But, like I said, it's kind of weak. And I've also found that with certain weapons, like, for example, the double grenade launcher, it's really easy to hit because it's just one just tall target. So, Pyramidion, I already told you about. It's pretty well balanced. Doesn't have any weapons on the right side, but it's the 3rd fastest ship. Its balloon is pretty well armored. You always notice me mention balloon strength. Balloon is pretty well armored, and the equipment layout isn't bad. An engineer will be able to run back and forth in the back most of the time and get to almost everything. The only thing is the balloon is up here, but it's right behind one of the gunners, so they can just deal with that. So 4 light mounts, it's a pretty solid ship, and probably the one you want to start with too. And I already showed you that. So that's all of them, I guess. So I'll go into the practice. I'm going to select... I'll select the Spire, since that's not one I'm terribly familiar with. But I can show you everything on there too. Okay, weapons are weapons, okay. And we got all AI. Here we go. So I'm going in as an engineer so I can show you how some of the equipment works. And I'll just show you the basic way of what everything looks like and how it works. So. Okay. So first you get the AI. They're just going to start opening up on those targets, but I don't really care because they don't really shoot back. Not much anyway. Okay. So you got your equipment, right? Spyglass. I now get a target reticle on that when I use that. That comes in handy for identifying friend, foe, as well as whenever you're flying, you can see them through a solid object, so that helps you know where everyone is. Here's the different tools. Anyway, different weapons. There's your Mercury rifle, whatever you call it. Here's the driving. This is what it looks like. I typically move to third person when I'm driving one of these things. It's got a little speed indicator there, forward, backward, and that's get off, and then W and S move you up and down. So anyway, that's the driving. This is a balloon hard point. That's what it looks like, and there's the symbol I was talking to you about. So that white thing, when it's full, or when the white thing still has something on it, this works. When it's not, it's red, this works. Engine, here. Here's a heavy weapon mount. This is a twin flak long range thing. Here's the way the ammunition works. You have the regular, and then you have this. It reloads. You can switch between them, and then when you get your setup, all you can do is zoom. There's a target. See, now notice how I can't hit it from here. See, angle and all that. So that's how that works. Rocket, mini rockets, basically, like that. To actually affect repairs or buff or anything, you actually have to get this symbol to show up, or else it doesn't count. So that's how that works. And here's your hull symbol. There you see the armor line on top and the whatever health line on the bottom. Both got to be up, obviously. One goes down, you know, then you got to repair it. That's how the that right there is the cooldown spinner that I told you about. And then that's how that works. There's your 2 engines. You can have multiple people repairing things at one time. So that's how that works. See how this thing's taking damage? Some weapons have zoom, some others do not. So that's how that works. That's how that works. And if one thing goes down, like this weapon up here, there is a ladder over here somewhere. And as a character, you do not take fall damage. So if I wanted to drop down, that's a quick way. See, this is how you repair stuff that has been destroyed. Notice how it doesn't really do it fast when I'm using this, like that. But when I use this, full. So that's how that works. So, that's the basic gist, the basic layout of, well, in this case, the Spire. That's how that works. If I'm driving, I get these extra special equipment, which apparently, I didn't know you could do that. You can use a spyglass while driving. That is very convenient. Speed settings stay on whether you're driving or not. Artemis rocket launcher. I switch to the different ammos. Zoom in. Notice how I get that damage reticle pop up when I actually hit something. Different reticles mean different things. If it's clear, that means it's a friend is doing that damage. If it's solid, it means you're doing that damage. White means damage. Red means critical damage. It means you probably disabled it. Notice how this weapon does damage a certain way. Versus it's doing this versus a balloon, which is not really its forte. Notice how his balloon is down, now he's collapsing. See? Also have to lead targets, stuff like that. So, one other important thing to note, if your balloon goes down and you hit the ground, you start taking instant hull damage rather quickly. So, don't do that. Other than that, I think that's the basic gist of how things work. So, I hope you can put that to good use. I can't really think of anything else I gotta identify other than, you know, well, obviously I'm working with AI right now, but that's just the way it is. And you can notice over here how she's trying to fire, but she doesn't have a good angle. So then you drop her down. And in a moment, you should have angle. Now they have angle. Turn it a little. Reloading the special ammo here. In this case, this is burst ammo. Does extra damage, increases your clip size as well. Notice how I'm missing by just a bit. Different weapons have different characteristics. This one has a little bit of a drop. So you gotta lead it. See how I got multiple hits on that one right there. I had to follow it in there. See, I missed by that much because of the target. That's how it works. See that red one right there? That meant I disabled something. And that's what explosions look like. So that's the basic gist of the layout of Guns of Icarus, what stuff looks like, how it works. Obviously you'll see in my gameplay a little more detailed stuff, how you communicate, how you work together. But that's how it works, so go get Guns of Icarus, and I'll catch you all later.